Hey everyone, this is Chaos Chrono. Welcome to my channel, and we're back with another episode. We're moving on to deck number 6 of this Mass Mutation deck opening series. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content over the last 5 videos. And again, if you have any suggestions, they're more than welcome. And with that, let's get to it. Alright, we have a yellow Archon from the looks of it. We have Logos, Saurians, and Shadows. Deck name is called Munter the Rapidly Voltesque. Interesting name. Hope to see that Ultra Gravitron and Deusilis. And with Shadows, always with those rad pennies, safe house, things like that. Let's get this opened off screen and see what we got. Okay, so let's bring this card down here and let's get the setup on the stand. Starting with Shadows, we have Master Plan. Amber, when you play it, put a card from your hand face down under Master Plan. Omni effect. Play the card under Master Plan, destroy Master Plan. So lets you set up a play, especially cards from different houses. Quite useful and definitely a core component in some of my main decks. Miasma Bomb enhances 1 damage pip. Action, destroy Miasma Bomb. Your opponent skips a Forge Key step during their next turn. Vandalize. Amber, when you play it, enhance with damage pip. Play. Look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, discard 1, and put the others back in any order. Nice disruption. Subtle Auto. Also enhanced with a damage pip. 1 power. Play. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Shoulder ID. 6 power creature with Taunt. Shoulder ID cannot fight. When Shoulder ID would deal damage, steal 1 Ember instead. Ooh, Opportunist with an Ember pip enhanced with 2 damage pips. This creature gains Elusive. And when you play it, the creature captures 1 Ember from its opponent. A second Opportunist, but enhanced with a draw pip. Mutant Cut Purse, also enhanced with a draw pip. 3 power creature, enhances 3 damage pips. Another Mutant Cut Purse, no enhancements on this one. Third Mutant Cut Purse, that's why we've been seeing some damage pips in this deck so far. Bow Nithing, also enhanced with draw pip, 2 power, steal 1 Amber for each Forge Key your opponent has. Nice Amber control. Second Bow Nithing, no enhancement on this one. And oh hey, we're on to Saurians, and we did get a giant creature. We have Deusilis. Good enough. Deusilis, 20 power creature. Play only with the other half of Deusilis. When you play it, capture all your opponent's Amber. Deal 5 damage to an enemy creature. And when you fight Reap, move 1 Amber from Deusilis to the common supply. And deal 2 damage to each enemy creature. It's a lot of board control in 1 card, and Amber control as well. That sneak peek was showing Sagittarius Gaze. Amber, whenever you play it, 2 damage pips enhanced on this card, and it also enhances the damage pip in the deck. Play Exalted Damage Creature, that is perfect. Having 2 extra damage pips on this card really helps you target a creature that's already on the board right away. Second Sagittarius Gaze with the native Amber pip, no enhancements. Third Sagittarius Gaze, we have a lot of doubles and triples in this deck. Again, just with the native Amber. The fourth Sagittarius Gaze, enhanced with a damage pip. Okay, this is a lot of actions. We'll see how the rest of this deck goes. We have Demosaurus, 4 power. Play. You may exalt Demosaurus. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. When it's destroyed, you steal 1 Ember. Cornican Octavia, enhanced with damage pip. 5 power, 1 armor creature. Action, capture 2 amber. Citizen Strix, enhanced with damage pip. 3 power creature. Play Reap effect. Exalt Citizen Strix, steal 1 amber. Beware the Ides, amber whenever you play it. Deal 23 damage to a creature in the center of its controller's banner line. Axiom of Grisk, enhance with a damage pip. Play water creature, destroy each creature with no amber on it. Gain 2 chains. Nice board wipe, always good to see. And it's coming. Amber when you play it, it's enhanced with the damage pip. Play, search your deck and discard pile for either half of a gigantic creature. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. Always comes with one of those gigantic creatures. Moving on to logos, we have Prescriptive Grammarbot, enhanced with a drop pip. It's a 3 power creature with Taunt and Hazardous 3. Reap, enrage a creature. Nice, we got some protection, hopefully for some good logos creatures in here. Autovac, 5150. Action, you may discard a card from your archives. If you do, keys cost +3 amber during your opponent's next turn. Otherwise, archive a card. Nice useful card with multiple functions. Positron Bolt, amber whenever you play it. Damage pip enhanced. Deal 3 damage to a flank creature, deal 2 damage to its neighbor, and deal 1 damage to the second creature's other neighbor. Second Positron Bolt with the native amber pip. We see this trend in this deck. Novu Dynamo, 8 power 2 armor creature. At the start of your turn, you may discard a logos card from your hand or archives. If you do, gain 1 amber. Otherwise, destroy Novu Dynamo. Cronus, enhanced with a damage pip. 3 power creature, enhances 2 draw pips into deck, and after you resolve a draw bonus icon, you may archive a card. Second Cronus, that's where all those draw pips were coming from. Quixo the Adventurer, 3 power skirmish creature. Fight, draw a card. Effervescent Principle, play. Each player loses half their amber, rounding down the loss. Gain 1 chain. Good amber control there. Daughter, 2 power elusive creature. During your draw card step, you can refill your hand to 1 additional card. Getting close to the end here. A second Daughter, enhanced with damage pip. A third Daughter. Okay, and that's the last card of the deck. Let's get this all sorted out and see what this deck really holds. Alright, I'm going to separate the components here just to make it a bit clearer to see instead of a huge jumbled mess on the table, which this is fairly close enough to anyway. But let's start with overall amber generation in the form of pips. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 4 in the 4 Sagittarius gaze. That's 10, 12 amber pips in this deck. That's a pretty good number. And we also have our amber control in the second row. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards in the deck. Technically 10, but those need to be played together. To control your opponent's amber. The 2 Bow Nithings, Citizen Strix, and Demosaurus all do some stealing, so that's another 4 amber we can potentially generate, bringing the total to 16 thus far. Whereas the rest of the cards mainly just control the amber in some way, shape, or form. Octavia captures, Aesilus captures, Effervescent Principle hits both sides to make each player lose half their amber, which is very useful against decks that can ramp up on amber faster. And of course Shoulder ID, which is a very situational possible steal depending on how desperate the opponent is for taking out a specific creature on your side. Just look through the deck a little bit, and there's one more card that can potentially generate amber for you, and that's Novu Dynamo. Now it does revolve around being able to discard a logos card from your hand on your turn, or at the beginning of your turn, which Autovac is very good for, as it allows you to archive. However, AutoVac also uses the cards that are archived towards its effect in terms of Amber control. So actually, yes, there is one more Amber control. That is 10 cards overall, including Deus both parts as one. This brings the expected Amber to roughly 17, maybe a little bit higher than that per round of cycling through the deck, just from playing the cards and expecting a little bit of usage on the Novu Dynamo. The Amber control is looking at about a 10 if all of these cards were equal, but as some make up for others, we'll keep the rating at about a 10. Now I'm going to reorganize and look at a few other components in this deck. Alright, just from reorganizing there, I did notice I didn't take into consideration the Opportunist cards. There's 2 copies, both are also considered Amber Control. So bringing up the number, let's say 2 and 11, 12. And in terms of Amber generation, each Sagittarius Gaze could potentially be worth 2 Amber, as we will be exalting enemy creatures for the most part, while damaging them with some of the damage pips that are enhanced on the Sagittarius Gaze. Moving on, we have in the middle row here our creature control. Deus is a force to be reckoned with. We have Quixo, who's also a skirmish fighter. The Demosaurus, which has the Exalt deal 3 damage ability. And we have the 3 mutant Cutpurses that add damage pips to the deck, in addition to the Sagittarius Gaze that adds a damage pip each as well. Beware the Ides removes a singular creature from the middle of the controller's battle line. Axiom of Grisk as a board wipe. And Positron, 2 copies of Positron Bolt that really help to manage the board as well, especially coming in from the flanks. The total creature control we're looking at here is also hitting close to double digits in terms of the number of cards. However, in terms of overall effect, it could be slightly weaker than that, as there's only 1 real board wipe, and that's situational to whether or not the opponent has a deck that holds onto a lot of Amber on the board. Looking down below, we have all our draw enhancements. We have 2 copies of Cronus, 3 copies of Daughter. All of them are great cards to increase your draw, as well as potential archiving as well. So now we're looking at the 2 Cronus and AutoVac. Having 2 Cronus makes it a lot more consistent that you can utilize this effect to archive a card when you do play a draw pip. AutoVac itself has a multi-use function, has Amber control, as well as archiving. All this plays very well into how this deck wants to function, and especially supports Novu Dynamo that relies on having either a lot of cards in your hand to make sure you have that Logos card you can discard, or a large archive to store all those cards in. Admittedly, this deck is weaker on the archiving, but it's definitely existent. In the top right, we have a little bit of disruption in Vandalize, where we can potentially check one of their cards before they even get to use it. And the 2 taunts, Shoulder ID and Prescriptive Grammar Bot. Those are going to be important to protect Deus, potentially Novu Dynamo, definitely the Cronus and Daughters. And I think that's the priority in terms of protection there. And lastly, we have Settle Auto, which just makes your opponent discard a card. All in all, this deck does feel pretty good. I'm pretty happy that we got to open a giant creature deck on this video. One other piece to look at is Master Plan. So let me quickly take a look at what cards are particularly useful to combine with that. Okay, I just pulled out a few cards, just that ones that are potentially good to hide on that Master Plan, if not in your archives. We have Effervescent Principle, making both sides lose half and gaining a chain for doing so. And it's coming to set up for a turn when you do pick up Deus and have an opportunity to play him, or at least half of Deus. And thinking about it now, a single part of Deus might actually be a really good option to put under master plan. Reason being is if your opponent did have an artifact use counter or a card, for example, remote access from set 1 that allowed you to utilize your opponent's artifact as if it were yours, or poltergeist to use it and then destroy it, they could potentially make use of whatever effect is below master plan. However, if it's only half of Deus Silis, nothing happens and it would just be discarded into your discard pile. So overall, there's a loss, but the opponent doesn't get to utilize that card to their benefit. Other cards include the Board Wipe, Axiom of Risk, and of course, if you don't have those cards in your hand when you want to play Master Plan, more or less anything else is good. You can utilize it to set up for your next turn in case any good combination of cards does show up for that situation. Just to review, we have Amber Generation that's looking a little better than before, so looking at about an 18 to 20 at the highest. We're looking at 10 to 12 for the Amber Control, 0 for Artifact Control as it hasn't been mentioned yet, about a 10 for Creature Control, and a decent amount of speed in this deck as well, probably hitting the double digits. So I'll say 10 as well. And the overall SAS or SAS value I would give for this deck, I think it does just jump over 70. Let's say 72. That sums up everything for this deck. Thank you guys for watching. As usual, I'll post up the DOK page at the very end just to see how my estimations went, how my ratings went just looking at the cards. If you guys have been enjoying the content, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel for weekly Keyforge videos like this. If you guys have any suggestions in terms of the type of content that you'd like to see on this channel, feel free to list that down below in the comment section. And as always, be kind and happy forging!